Oxfit Podcast, episode 34.
Welcome. We've got a few different shows.
We
in
do.
case you didn't know. So this is the LitAF.
LitAF.
And then we've got Ox 100.
Mm-hmm.
And then we've got like a Monday motivation or like a Coach's Corner programming style podcast, right?
Yes.
So this is LitAF.
Mm-hmm.
We are 3 books.
3 books in for this year.
Cool. And this is your choice.
My choice.
Forever Strong.
Forever Strong.
Yeah. By Dr. Gabrielle Lyon. And she's been all over the place recently, right? Like
yeah.
This book. Well, I guess it's because she's got a book out, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Talk to me. How did you enjoy it? You were really excited to read it. So
I was. I really enjoy listening to her speak. So if you're not going to take the time to like read the whole book, you can just look her up on YouTube. She does a ton of like guest spots.
Yep. I got the audiobook and I enjoyed listening to the audiobook. So
yeah, she's super smart. She's a family physician, has done a lot of research in geriatrics and nutrition sciences. I think it was really to the point. It got pretty sciencey. So I think it was a good one and done read for us. I don't think we need a bunch of episodes on it to kind of talk about what, her whole idea is.
Yeah. Well, I mean, she's a doctor, right? So that's where she wanted. It was, in the title, right? A science-based strategy.
Yeah.
So letting you know that this is not just I think the point is to let you know that it's not just like bro science.
Right.
Right? Like she's strong. She's got a lot of muscle. I guess if she didn't back it up with a lot of science, it would just be like, oh, well, this jack doctor's just making stuff up, you know? So,
and she does have a ton of, stories in the book from her own patients and kind of their experiences with, she has her whole training plan, the Lion Protocol, which is cool. So, she has a ton of just.
Well, but it feels like a lot of times there is a lot of bro science out there, right? Like it's people who are doctors, but they might have been a doctor they use the title doctor.
A chiropractor.
They might have been something not even in it.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden they're telling you how to eat, or all of a sudden they're telling you how to train and all this stuff. And like to have it from somebody who was literally a physician working with patients, and like she talks about patients a lot, It's a different approach than I'm used to reading, I think. Which I think you'll probably enjoy coming from like a medical background. Like, you know what I mean? Like you being a nurse and seeing how this is not implemented in most places. Yeah. I was just at a hospital for 5 days, and to see how there's no like strength-based nutrition, protein. Yeah. Like every day I was sitting at the hospital, it was like, do you want soup? Here's a menu with
pudding,
burgers, pudding, just shit.
Fanta.
Yeah.
Whatever you want. You're sick. Whatever you want.
Yeah, whatever you want to make you feel better. And it feels like that's the approach in a lot of medicine. Whereas this is coming with a side of it that we fucking love, right? Like it's validating everything we do with science. Yeah. Because we see it in action. We see it work. But I can't tell you a paper that will reference why you should eat that much protein. I can't tell you a paper to reference why you should deadlift. I know why you should deadlift. Right. Because I know you got to pick shit up for the rest of your life. Yeah. I know why you should be able to burpee. And I know everybody hates burpees, but if you can't burpee for the next 40 fucking years, you're going in a home. Yeah. So I know that, but I don't have a paper to back it up. Right. I don't have research. And then this, I feel like, is a good tool for your arsenal. Like if you can take some of the chapters and memorize them, and then when you are talking to people, be like, I know this research study that showed this is why you should be eating that much protein. Yeah.
Or just empower you to have those conversations with your doctor when you go to your primary care visit, or I feel like it gives you a little bit more control over your health, because I think it's also scary because it puts a lot of responsibility on you. So it's no longer let me, go to the doctor and figure out what's wrong and they're going to give me a pill to fix it. You have to take responsibility for, no, I need to build muscle and I need to gain all of these things. I don't need to go to the doctor and let them fix it with one prescription. I need to, shift the conversation to how can we help me build muscle, get stronger, eat better, which is not the conversation that typically happens whenever you're in a doctor's office. It's what's the quickest way that we can fix this, or what's the quickest way we can get you to lose weight.
Which is scary because right now there's a lot of quick fixes coming in for people to lose weight. And if you go to the doctor, what does the doctor get out of telling you to eat more protein, work out, get strong? They don't really get a kickback off of that, right? And the results are going to take a little bit longer. They're going to be worthwhile, but you're not going to get no instant gratification. Whereas now they've got something that they can just prescribe to you, and you'll lose that 10, 15 pounds in the short term. But what is that going to do to you in the long term? We have no idea right now.
Right.
And I don't know, like, I feel like it's so good to have this coming from a doctor, because I feel like everything that we get from doctors at this point is a pill, a prescription, something that will make money, you know?
Yeah.
Whereas like I said, I was just in a hospital visiting someone, and it's, if there's no emergency, get out of the hospital.
Yeah.
If there's not an emergency going on, like, I don't know the last time I saw a doctor, right? And I won't go see a doctor for who knows until I have to have a medical or something for some insurance or something like that, you know? But it's urgent care is fantastic. When you're in a crisis and like you need to go to ICU or something like that, like, then people are on it. But a doctor that shows up every day and has to see a patient every like 10 minutes or probably quicker than that, right? Like every 4 to 5 minutes, they want to get you in and out, right? Or they want to just like, all right, that's not an emergency. So just, I don't even need to really deal with that until it becomes life threatening.
Right.
And then this Forever Strong is like long-term solutions.
Yeah. And she, like, reading her dialogue with the patients and kind of her journey with them, it feels like a coach. It doesn't feel like a doctor. It feels like she's in their corner guiding them through this journey that takes a lot more work than just take this pill, I'll see you next week and we'll get on the scale. Oh, you lost 10 pounds? Awesome. We're going to keep taking it. Like, that's not a coach. That's just someone that has the ability to write something. Yeah. But she's coming. Well,
but I don't know about you, but I think of doctors like, if I'm going to a doctor, I want them to give me a solution. Whereas this is like, there's many different solutions depending on your goals, which is not how I think. I think of a doctor as an authority that like, I'm sick, you fix it. Yeah. And this kind of flips it where like, not necessarily the case. You should, like you said, take some amount of accountability about what you're going in to get out of these situations, which that's a new way to think about going to the doctor, right? I don't know many people that think like that, right? Like, we're in a hospital, we go to a doctor and you think like, they're the expert, just leave it to them. Yeah. And I don't know if that's how you should be thinking, because if you look around, it's kind of failing as that system, right? Do they care about your individual health? Like, no, they're trying to fix the health of a general population, or does that affect you? When you go into these situations, you shouldn't just be giving all your autonomy away. Yeah. You shouldn't just be giving all your authority away. You might have researched it more than them, right? Like, yeah. So it's just, I don't know. It's kind of scary. I don't want to have to be a doctor.
No. And it's hard because it's now more and more like with the issues people are going to doctors for, more often than not, it's going to be an obesity-caused illness, or, as this book shifts the focus, an illness of impaired muscle. So not enough skeletal muscle, increased fat, whatever you want to call it. It's causing diabetes, it's causing heart disease, all of these things. So it's not, I broke my leg, and they're like, got it. Surgery, we'll fix it, we'll get you right. It's, I've eaten like shit for 10 years and now I can't walk up the stairs.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not the same approach. And I feel like so much of medicine is, learning how to make those quick diagnostics. You have strep throat, you have an infection, like we got antibiotics, we can fix it. And all they know, or all that we're taught to treat these other illnesses that have developed over years and years, is just a pill. Because the real answer to fixing that is not something you can take care of inside of an exam room, or, you know what I mean?
Yeah. How do you feel about the fact that it's saying that strength and muscle are the key to a healthy life, and like aging well and stuff like that. And like, it's linking all these things together. Like, so they're saying like, you need to gain muscle to be healthier. You need to gain muscle. Do you think that it is as simple as that? Or do you think that is just like a correlation? So like, if you're lifting weights and you're training, maybe you're eating a little bit better. Maybe you're doing, you know what I mean? Like, how many different habits are involved in you being stronger?
Exactly. Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. And I don't think it's as simple as
do bicep curls and you'll
lift
live longer.
weight, be healthy. I don't think it's that easy, because I think once you start doing strength training a few times a week, you're going to start eating better and you're going to be more active. You're not sitting as much. All of these things are related. But I do think she brings up an important point when we look at, what is it, like 60% of Americans are overweight, but only like 30% of those people suffer from obesity-caused illnesses. So what's different between all of these people that are overweight and not experiencing any illness? Well, she's saying that all of those people probably have a pretty good amount of skeletal muscle mass. So even though they're hanging on to this extra adipose tissue and all this stuff, their bodies are still, really good at insulin resistance. They do have a pretty good metabolism because they do have all this muscle. So I think that's the interesting piece you have to look at, because you can have people that maybe don't have a ton of fat, but they also don't have a lot of skeletal muscle, and they still are suffering from diabetes. They can't walk up the stairs, even though they don't look overweight. So yeah, I think it's hard because nobody's tracking that.
Yeah.
So your doctor's not going to track your skeletal muscle growth or your muscle mass. They're going to look at your weight on the scale, basic lab work, and if anything is wrong, you're going to get a pill. So you have to take that responsibility into yourself to...
Yeah, they're not going to test your grip strength.
No.
They're not going to say, go do 5 pull-ups.
Right. They're not going to be like, this is your back squat this week. Come back in 6 weeks and tell me how it's been going.
What was your Merv time?
Right.
They're not going to ask you any of them things.
No.
And you might be slightly overweight. You might, you might register a few things on the like obesity scale. But you might also be jacked.
Yeah.
You might be really fit, and you might be showing all these. And yeah, if they did ask you that stuff, how many times a week do you work out? How much protein are you eating? All these things, that might lead to a different diagnosis of what you have. You might not have anything.
Yeah.
And instead, you're obese. You need to lose weight. You need to, when really you need to just keep doing what you're doing.
Yeah.
That's a scary thing, right? Like you could go in, like I think I'm 195 right now, and I'm 5'9". I'm not registering many good things on that scale, but I just outlifted, my lifetime PRs on powerlifting, and then I'm about to crush my time on this DECA thing.
Yeah.
If I went to a doctor, I might be like, "Ooh, you need to lose a few pounds." No, I'm actually right where I want to be right now.
A lot of the metrics I think are just off. I mean, I'm the same way. I think the last time I did get checked, they said my BMI, I was unhealthy. It's like, no, I just don't think anyone is tracking how much muscle mass weighs.
Yeah.
And I think I just have more of it than what we've seen in women aged 25 to 30 that are my height.
Right.
But I'm not going to go try and lose weight.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, if you went to, like, say, the CrossFit Games and BMI'd everybody there, it probably showed that they were all unhealthy when you've actually got the fittest people on earth
right.
working out for something, right?
Right,
so
yeah.
It's funny. And then you'd go to like a marathon, and everybody might register as super healthy, But I've seen some of these marathon runners. They might be able to run a marathon, but can't climb the stairs. Right? Like,
yeah.
So, yeah, it's an interesting time for this kind of stuff. I know a lot of people that, you know, they run every day and they're really, really unhealthy.
Yeah.
You know? And they think like, I just got to keep running and I got to not eat and and it's like, I don't know what you're setting yourself up for there, but it's not good.
Yeah. Because even though, yes, you're burning calories, yes, you're exercising, like, I mean, she calls the muscle is like the organ of longevity. So if you don't have muscle mass, how's your immune system? What does your insulin resistance actually look like? If you ate enough food, would your body be able to handle it? You know, are you able to dispose of these fats and carbohydrates the proper way without starving yourself and just running everything off?
Yeah.
So yeah, it just poses some interesting questions and ways to think about, you know, what you can gain from gaining something rather than what you can lose from just losing weight. And I like that shift.
Yeah.
Especially when, you know, we have a really great nutrition program here and just talking to people, and
especially on the women's side.
Yeah.
Right? Like we're empowering women to eat a lot more food, you know, and be like, even on the men's side, to be honest, when I show someone that they can actually lose weight by eating more food, it doesn't really, it takes a long time to convince someone of that.
Yeah.
And I'm like, please just trust me for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And then they'll send me a progress pic after 2 weeks and be like, look at my abs. And they're like, I'm eating more food. And I'm like, yes, you are under eating protein. Protein's a building block for life.
Yeah.
Carbs suck.
Right.
Like, let's go with this protein. Like, it's more nutritionally dense. You're going to get more out of it. Like, it's just, yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
Like, she talks a lot about the essential amino acids. And I like that because essential amino acids, right? Like, you can get them from random places, but if you can get them from food,
right,
you're just going to be so much better off.
Yeah.
Like, how much protein are you eating right now?
I hit 175, try to, at least 160.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah.
And what do you think you were eating before you were tracking?
Oh, probably like 70 grams of protein. It's crazy.
So half.
Yeah. And I had the same conversation with, one of our moms this morning about, it blew her mind when she started thinking about, what do I need to give myself more of rather than what do I need to take away from myself? And if you give yourself enough protein, you give yourself the opportunity to go lift weights 3 times a week. She's not binge eating carbs. She's not gaining weight. She's seeing all the results she wants, but she's never once in her mind thinking, I need less. I need to eat less. I need to lose this. I need to get rid of that. No, we just need more of the good stuff, which is going to reward us and give us the results we want, which is lose weight and, get some smaller pant sizes. But it just shifts that focus.
But strength focused, right? Like, if you're always coming from a point of strength, one of my favorite quotes, and I can't remember, I think it's from Mark Bell, is strength is never a weakness and weakness is never a strength. So if you're doing anything to make yourself weaker, so you're like dieting and trying to lose, then you're going to end up just becoming weaker, right? If it's like the same with everything. Like, if you only focus on saving money, then you're in that, like, you're never going to be able to go and make more money.
Yeah.
Right? Like, everything's about pushing positive, not what's the negative side of all this stuff.
Right. I'm flipping in the book right now because one of the things I think we talked about that surprised me when I opened it, and it keeps surprising us that we pick these good books, is that, the very page 9, she has a big grayed out box that says adopting a growth mindset. That's all we've been talking about all year, and it's all connected.
Yeah.
Having that mindset of growth and just not being fixed in one spot. I need to lose weight. I need to spend less. I need to do this. I can't, It's like, no, I'm moving forward. I'm going to start eating more of this. I'm going to start going to this place more. I'm going to start being around these people more. And that's going to help you just get so much further.
Well, and that's what Oxford is. Like, I'm so glad we started off with mindset for the year because that's what OxFit's about. It's about a mindset, right? Mm-hmm. You come and do this training, and this training hasn't been around that long, but even we are constantly trying to push this training forward and constantly trying to try new different things, right? Like this weekend we have our DECA coming up, and it's only the second time we've done it. And every time I do it, I'm more excited than I was before. And it's movements that 3 years ago, when I was deep into, this is the way that this training works, in a fixed mindset of this style of training, I would have never picked up a RAM. I would have never, wanted to push and pull a sled. I would never have wanted to do like a box get over a different way because this is the way it's done. And like, that should never be the thought process. It should constantly be like, oh, let's take from this style of training. Let's try some of that old school stuff. Maybe we've gone too far away from that. And this reiterates that sometimes you can go too far away from what was working. A lot of this stuff is just shit from the 60s. Yeah. That people were doing. And then we said, there's a better way, and lost everything that we were doing before. Like some of the ways that I'm eating now are the ways my grandparents would eat. I'm trying to find like all these fats that they would cook. They'd put them in the fridge. They'd reheat them and use them all week. You know what I mean? Like, it's so funny that we just, people think you're progressing, but sometimes you're just moving from one fixed mindset to another fixed mindset. And you forget all the stuff that you knew before. So that's what I like about working on our mindset. And then training is just part of that. And, nutrition is just part of that. Yeah. So like, I'm trying to not fix my mindset on anything now. Yeah. So like alcohol, we talk about that a lot. I'm just not having a fixed mindset about it. Like some days I might want to, some days I might not. Shitty food. I'm trying to do my best in this mindset of like wanting to track my macros and but I'm on vacation or I'm doing this. I'm just like, hey, relax. Just live. You know what I mean? Same with training. Like, if a competition comes up I want to do, I'm going to do it. But I'm not going to focus on, that's my one thing this year. Yeah. And nothing else can come in. And this is the only way I train. And so, yeah, it's good. And I think this book just lends to that. What is the Lion method?
So the Lion protocol for her is following, her specific nutrition guidance, hitting, the number of protein based on your body weight, normal calculation. Yep. And then just, honestly, it's just implementing strength training. That's it. Which it's a great resource for people who are...
So it's eat protein, lift weights.
Basically. If you come across this book and you've never been to a gym before, this would be such a big help. But I think reading this just reiterates the importance of what we do in the gym.
The Lion protocol is Ox 100.
Yeah. Essentially. And just reading it, I was just like, yep, got it. Doing it, got it. Yep. People that have done Ox 100, this would look very familiar to them.
People that do an Ox 100 will be forever strong. And here's the science. So we could just say, do Ox 100. And if you want to know the science,
any questions, here you go.
Read Gabrielle Lyon's book. Because we don't care about the science. We want to watch you. We want to watch you do it. The science we know is there because we see it happen every day. Right. I see someone in the space of 4 weeks go from working out their whole life to having the best results they've ever had in the space of a month. Right. That's not.
Yeah, people
I don't need to see a research paper. No. I watched it happen.
Yeah. So people come in and ask about it, and I'm just like, well, I'm looking in the gym, like that person did it 2 years ago, that person did it 1 year ago, and they all just look amazing. Yeah. And it's like, that's the proof right there. Yeah. It's just people's success with it. But yeah, and I would just, encourage people not to be in that fixed mindset. Whatever you think about weightlifting, about eating more, whatever it is, just challenge yourself to try something new and flip the script. Because, I know we've both heard it all. I don't want to build too much muscle. I don't want to look a certain way. I promise you're not going to look like a bodybuilder just because you strength train 3 to 5 days a week and you eat enough protein. What will happen is you're going to be able to climb the stairs in your house until you're old and play with your grandkids. Yep. God forbid we have a little bit of muscle definition, but it truly is lending itself to longevity and just continuing to be able to live your life and find that balance with food and exercise and whatever it is you're doing for years to come without needing a new pill every 6 months.
Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting how I think strength training is a catalyst to so much stuff. When you see yourself get stronger, and not necessarily just deadlifts and back squats, but like you see yourself get a pull-up, you know? I mean, that was life-changing for you.
Yeah.
It just shows you what you can do. And then, like we said, strength is never a weakness and weakness is never a strength in terms of everything. Lifting weights, your mindset, the way you eat, the way you save or spend money, the way you find friends, like acting weak, being weak, and then looking at things from a weak mindset never push you forward, you know? And I think that's what I like about this book the most, is it's all about strength and it's all about autonomy and it's all about you taking control and personal responsibility for your health. And not giving that away. Not giving it away to even someone like Gabrielle Lyon. Like,
no.
She's going to give you some things, but like she wants you to do the rest.
Yeah.
You know?
And it's not fair to put it on anyone else. It's not fair to put it on your doctor, put it on, it's you. So.
Yeah, and it's a funny thing with a doctor, right? Like, to find a doctor, how do you do it? Like, what I would say is you should do it like you do anything else. You should find someone who's living and setting an example of how you want to live. Like, is your doctor ripped? Are they fit? Are they healthy? Do they seem happy? Do they look exhausted? Like, you know what I mean? Like, I think all them things are important.
Yeah.
Not just where did they get their degree. I think it's what you see them doing.
Yeah.
What kind of training do they do? What is their... I think there are questions that I would want to ask my doctor. I think I should probably get a doctor too at 38.
Maybe. Yeah.
Maybe, yeah. We'll just say maybe.
Maybe.
Yeah. We'll just keep reading books.
We'll just keep reading books.
Yeah. Just follow this podcast.
don't. We're not doctors.
This is not medical advice.
Nope.
This is just, what is it? How do they say it when they do their disclaimers? This is not meant to treat, diagnose, or something like that.
Yeah. We just
like getting better and stronger and fitter.
Yeah. Eating meat.
And happier.
Picking up stuff.
Yep. Something that she doesn't really talk about is just being happier, right?
Yeah.
There's not much. Like it says boost energy, which that makes me feel better when my energy's good. But I think all these things make you feel better too.
Oh, for sure.
Anything else to wrap up Forever Strong?
Out
of 10.
Out of 10, I give it a 7 out of 10.
7 out of 10?
Yeah. I liked it.
All right. Out of 10 if you can't use 7.
I'd say 8.
Okay.
I'd go up to 8.
That's good then. Because I think 7's always a bullshit number.
Yeah, kind of.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's safe.
Because you want to save the 8s and 9s for like things that blow your socks off. But I thought this was...
But an 8, now we're talking that's a good book.
Yeah,
like
really
a 7,
well
I was
written.
like, it's kind of meh.
Yeah.
Do you want to read it? But an 8, and I agree, I think it's an 8 for most people. I think we knew this stuff. I just like having the science that I get to learn some of the science behind it.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm doing that stuff every day with people, so. But I think I'd give it an 8 too. And yeah, a 7, I would say you don't really need to read a 7, but I think everyone should read this. Especially if you question, you know, like if you've always been a runner, because, you know, we meet them people a lot. If you've always been a runner, read this. If you, again, old, read this book.
Yeah, if you've ever said...
Because if you can't squat, if you can't deadlift, if you can't press, like that's why every week you squat, deadlift, and press in our workouts, because you need them forever.
Yeah.
You got to be able to get out of a chair, get up off the toilet. You got to be able to put something on a shelf.
Yeah.
And you've got to be able to get up off the floor.
Yep.
And like if you can't do any of them 4 things, you're in a home. Somebody's going to have to take care of you.
Yep.
Someone's going to worry about you if you fall down and you can't get back
Whatever
up.
you can't do, somebody else is going to have to do for you. So,
yeah,
if you've ever said that you don't like strength training, you don't like lifting weights, then Maybe you just haven't found the right thing, but it is absolutely necessary.
Yeah. And if you don't like that stuff, how are you going to get stronger? Or how are you going to maintain muscle mass? Because you can't just not like it. So maybe it's pull-ups, push-ups, air squats. Maybe it's now a big thing is walking with a backpack on or rucking or, adding weight to a walk.
Yep.
Sounds super simple. But I heard Simon Sinek talk. You know Simon Sinek? He wrote a book, Start With Why. And he's doing a new book on friendship because he's like noticed people are really lonely. And he said the number one muscle for longevity is your heart. So work out, exercise. Number 2 was the lungs. And then number 3 was the quads. And I was like, shit, that's pretty interesting. That like the number 3 thing that kept people around longer was their quads. Just being able to walk, being able to get up, being able to, you know what I mean?
Stand,
yeah. So, and I mean, I would take it further and just say leg strength, but quads is where they like narrowed it down to use quad strength. And you see that, right? People age fast, their legs just go. I wonder if back strength is there too. You know?
Yeah, I mean, it's all related, isn't it? You can't really say one thing over the other.
Right. If your quads are strong, everything else is probably strong too.
Right.
Right? So, but add some weight to your workouts, right?
Yeah.
Like slow down and get stronger. Go climb some steps. Something like that. So, cool. Wrap it up.
Great read. Get in the gym. Lift weights with us. Eat enough protein. If you don't know how to do it, Ox 100.
Let's go. Episode 34. We're out.